Hello, everybody. Very good evening to all of you. Everybody, if you can hear me loud and clear, just give me a good yeah so that I can know that you are hearing me nice and clear from where you are. Your connection is also good. Just give me a shout out as well. If you can hear me, say hello. Everybody out there, yes, hi, Yong Liang, nice to have you. All right, give me a shout out if I can just get some connection. Nurul Hazlina, hearing me loud and clear. Mr. Chu, okay. So everybody, thank you, Christina. Awesome, loud and clear. Love it. Thank you, gang. Nice, HD. Okay. So welcome to today's webinar on the importance of digital transformation. And this webinar is jointly organized by Malaysia Productivity Corporation, MPC, and SAMENTA, Small and Medium Enterprises Association. Just a quick introduction about who we are. SAMENTA is the oldest SME association, and if you've seen the news, you've seen Astro Awani, you've seen us on all the different portals. We have been busy at work being the voice for SMEs during this very unique, unprecedented times. All right, so if I may, I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to share a very important article that I read from the RAM report. So the recent RAM report, Ratings Agency Malaysia, said this: close to 90% of manufacturing firms polled and cited rising business costs as their main challenge. And this is consistent with the recent surge in the cost of major raw materials following a commodity upcycle and a surge in global shipping costs. So costs are going up, and that is affecting supply. Now, RAM said cost cutting is still the SME's main survival tactic, with more than half of companies surveyed that had resorted to cost cutting measure in the past year. And with the continuation of MCO 3.0, about 40% believe cost cutting were necessary to remain viable. But get this. This is why this is important that you're here, everybody, is because it's not just about cutting costs. Today's topic is so powerful because today's topic is about the importance of digitalization to enhance your business productivity. We have amazing speakers here for you today because it's not about cutting costs, but it is really about how efficiently your expenses are working for you. So if you guys are excited today, we've got some really cool speakers. I can't wait to introduce all these really cool people, but let me just share my screen and we get underway. All right. So if you can see my screen, everybody, today we have a killer power-packed session for you for the next 1 hour. Opening remarks will be none other by our Datuk William, the chairman of SAMENTA Central. We're going to get into an amazing session with Mr. Royce Tan from Bosch Rexroth. Crazy cool information. I just really hope you guys really tune in and take lots of notes. We also have MPC, our Dr. Mazlina Shafi, who's going to talk about our Productivity 1010 program, as well as Ms. Lee Wanwei, who will come in and talk a little bit about MyReskills Internet of Things IoT program. And we're going to leave the Q&A at the end and some closing remarks. Okay, so without further ado, I just want to bring on our first speaker of the day, who is Datuk William, the chairman of SAMENTA Central. If I can, just want to say this. Datuk William has been the champion for the needs and development of SMEs in Malaysia in the region since 2008. He's also the publisher of SME magazine and the founding president of Enterprise Asia, but now is the chairman for SAMENTA Central. And if you've seen him before, all of us are working very hard to champion the needs of SMEs during this dire time. So without further ado, let me welcome Datuk William Ng. All right, there you go.
Hey, thank you, Marissa. Thank you so much for the introduction and thank you for putting this together. Good evening, everyone. So a quick welcome to all members of SAMENTA and of course other partner associations who are here today, and greetings to all our speakers. So as you know, this pandemic has been truly merciless, but as Winston Churchill said, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? So just as this is disrupting our business, it is also an opportunity for all of us to speed up our digitalization and transformation. In fact, this morning, I attended the launch of the National Productivity Report by Datuk Latif, Director General of MPC. And as expected, our productivity dropped, in fact, by 5.5% to be exact. What this means is that there is really a lot of work from this point on to challenge Malaysians and Malaysian businesses like ourselves to improve our productivity and to get rid of the label that Malaysians are unproductive. Hopefully, I think through this digital transformation, among others, we'll be able to go back to the days where we are well regarded as among the most hardworking and the most productive in the world. So once again, on behalf of all of us at SAMENTA, I would like to thank our speakers, Royce, Dr. Maslina, and Wan Wei for your generous sharing today. Back to you, Marissa.
Thank you very much, Dr. William, for kicking us off. And I really love the saying of never let a good crisis go to waste. Okay, so without further ado, I just want to bring up my screen again to introduce to you the speaker of today, who is going to bring us a powerful topic, SME resilience in digital transformation. Mr. Royce is no stranger in this industry of helping many companies go IR 4.0 and done lots of talks, yeah, whether it's local or international. So Royce is 57 years old, took an early retirement. Yes, Royce. 2 years ago, but has been ever so busy. Yeah, the industry is keeping you very busy as a consultant to MBank and on a government assignment and industrial trainer, still carrying on work for Bosch, Rexroth, all focused on Industry 4.0 solutioning and training. Royce is now clocking 28 years in the Bosch Group, much of which he has been doing a lot of work in the OEM automotive industry for ASEAN, and prior to that, responsible for setting up engine assembly lines for a famous European and Japanese car brand. When he was growing up, he spent a lot of time in the car repair store with your father. So Royce is the kind of guy that from the ground up, he has gone from the tactical to the strategic, and he is someone that has gone and built many groups, transformation at so many levels, and we have him here today to really help us with where the SMEs are. Parallel to his professional life, Royce owns 3 renewable energy generation businesses and other services, very profitable, all thanks to his experience that he's gained, all in which intensive use of technology and digitalization. To date, within the last 2 years, Royce is an avid trainer. He has gone around the world to really train. He has 1,600 people that he's trained on Industry 4.0 through government programs, HRDF, FMM, and other skill training centers. The list goes on, but hey, help me welcome Royce. Woo, everybody say hi. Thank you for being here with us, Royce. Wow.
Thank you, Marissa. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Do you see this slide? Do you hear me? Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Okay. Salam sejahtera to everyone. Today I like to share. I'm invited to share with you regarding resilience. Yeah, this resilience is a special word. I like this word because in bahasa it means kekebalan. You know, the ability to is strong. You are not hard that you can break and then unrepairable, but resilient means kekebalan, you can bounce back. And exactly the same word for in Chinese. I can say it better in Cantonese, dancing. Dancing means you're able to spring back, you know, just like a bamboo. No matter how strong the wind is and how strong the rain is, the bamboo bends back and grows better. So I like to share with you very quickly. That's me. As what Marissa said, before I joined Bosch, I was 5 years in SAMENTA. I was responsible for engine assembly, and then later I went into export business, exporting automotive parts. And you can imagine anything to do with export. And this was like 30 years ago. 32 years ago was very tough because of logistics and things like that. It was successful, and I learned a lot of things. What really helped me to be successful was the years that my father put me into his business in Klang. I come from Klang, in automotive and cars and motorcycle repairs. Those were the foundation of everything that I've learned in life. It was business, handling stocks and customers, tools, equipment, banks, you know, and everything. So I was like the slave in the company, but it was one of the best education I had. That was 8 years before I was sent to study in Australia. Then after that 5 years in Malaysia, I was invited to work in Bosch, and it has been for 28 years now. Very exciting. I learned a lot of things from it. Right now, I'm focused very much in Industrial 4.0. Now, you think about this company, I'd like to share you very quickly. Yeah, presently, it has reached 283 factories in the world. It's a 139-year-old company, very old company. The question is, how did they last so long? Yeah, I may be from Bosch, but I think right now I want to be objective to share with you. Let's learn from company on how they have last so long through so many. They have gone through 2 wars, and they've gone through many challenges. They're in many countries. It means every country has their own challenges for this company. So in Malaysia, Bosch has been here for 88 years, but the factory in Penang is now the oldest one, is 49 years. So it's 3 factories there. Next year, you will find 1 new factory in Batu Kawan. That is about 2 billion ringgit investment. How do they grow and sustain themselves? And what make them pick Malaysia where our cost is still going up? Yeah, so therefore there are strength in Malaysia, and you yourself are some part of the strength. So you got to know your strength, but also our own weaknesses as a country, as a people. Yeah, so I would say just in this 15 minutes, I'd like to share with you, please keep this in mind. The success of this company continuously and growing is in this area called contractual price reduction. Everything that Bosch sells has a contracted price reduction every year, sometimes contract for 5 years. Can you imagine? And those of you who sells to OEM, you know it too, that you have a contract to reduce price. And sometimes the customer even come and say to you, I need more reduction, not only just the contracted price, but I want more. Yeah. So what does it do? So in this 14 minutes, I will share with you just 2. One is called process and people. Now, there are many solutions that are complex, but now I want to share with you, in these 28 years that I worked in Bosch, I've seen how they have successfully done it, that SMEs can learn. Yeah, it's basically right now, 13 minutes, process and people. Okay, then I was fortunate in 2018 April, MDEC appointed Bosch as the digital transformation partner to help the SME study and raise awareness about digitalization, and that gave me an opportunity. I was invited to speak in more than 50 panels and conferences. Now, speaking is one thing, but it will also make me understand what other people speak about. The reason is because I begin to realize that much of the things that they spoke were just too complex, just too big picture. Yeah. So, and then because of that responsibility given to me from MDEC, I was very busy for 2.5 years visiting about more than 170 SMEs in Malaysia. And so today, I'd like to share with you what were the findings of that 170 visits and 50 conferences and many people that I have trained. So and then I began to realize something. People were not being upskilled. People coming from university or polytechnic, they either were not trained in Industry 4.0 digitalization fast enough, for all kind of reasons, yeah, because of buying equipments and things like that. So since 2018, I was very busy in raising a skill training center under HRDF program, of which 2, a very prominent one is in Kedah. In Kedah is Kismet and also SST Cell Partner. There are 2 more, so one is Selangor and one coming out in Pahang, and 2 more, one in Penang, another one soon. So in all 6. So guys, I like to bring a word, yeah? Everything to do with people has to do with upskilling, right? No upskilling, you cannot grow and be resilient. So then we have a the best SME bank in Malaysia. There is M-Bank, appointed me as the consultant to help their customer manufacturers to understand Industrial 4.0 and how to go forward. Again, the key word is SME. Yeah, so I am grateful that my company, Bosch, has enabled me to stream down the big complex things to simple things for SME. And in the next 10 minutes, or maybe 9 minutes, I'd like to share with you. Now, So in just about less than 24 months, I had a chance to train more than 1,600 people, whether in master classes or HRDF program or government programs. Yeah. So again and again, from this training, from those conferences and the visits, I realized that our Malaysian SME were really either, I would say like that, either have not been trained, the business owner didn't get a chance to put themselves for training, didn't send their people for training, or their people were sent for training, went back, but couldn't translate what they have learned to their management. Yep, and then of course with all the conferences and events, people were more confused. So today, in very short 8 minutes, I'd like to share with you on process and people. Firstly, let's look at your management and operation. And this, I see this in every industry. 3 things are under your control. I think 4 things are under control. 1, you have to work at it. Yeah. Number 1, I like to conclude in that 170 plants I have visited that most of the SME has very poor warehouse and material management. Yeah, you know, those of you who are seriously in business, especially a business owner, and you're also accountants in charge of, you know, that the inventory actually, you know, hold down a lot of your cost, your capital and your holding cost is there. Now, I've been to so many places where, you know, this year, last year, thanks to MyReskills, people began to be aware of QR code. Yeah, QR code. And QR code is such a cheap and easy way for material and inventory management. So guys, I just want you to please remember material and warehouse inventory and material handling is very important. You can't find the thing, you can't produce it. And I know of enough, you know, company that say, oh, we have got to work so much overtime. The reason is because when the production planner plans for the thing, tapi the next day, the barang doesn't come up. They can't find the thing. They go to the rack, they think the thing is there, but when they went there, it's not there. So therefore, the equipment stands idle, people stand idle. The only person that is happy are the banglas. Malam ini kita boleh kerja overtime. Yeah, guys, do you see the cost? Just because they don't manage the warehouse properly. But why don't they manage the warehouse properly? Because they don't know, most of them don't know there's such thing, software and sensors that manages warehouse management. Okay, for those who want to know more information, you're most free to contact me. Next, the other thing will be facilities and infrastructure. Yeah, you know, the last 10 to 15 years, the world, including Malaysia, economy has been going up until pandemic. Nobody was paying attention to facilities and infrastructure. When things break down suddenly, everything gets disrupted. Yeah, and again, the people that are most happy are the Bangla. Boleh kerja overtime lagi. The other thing is people have not looked at processes for production and QC. Yeah, processes. I'm paying attention to processes because business is growing so fast that people, you know, your processes at 10 years old, 8 years old have never been consulted, has never been revamped, has never been looked at it to really make it lean. So the key word that I want to share with you is called lean manufacturing, lean processes. Yeah. So the other thing that needs to be digitalized will be with your suppliers and creditors. I give you one simple example. If any one of your company is still paying bills not using online, paying salaries not using online, you're not paying your vendors using online, something is desperately wrong. Because as long as you're still using checks and using paper and things like that, you are terribly inefficient. So that part alone is so easy to solve, and that will bring the cost down and reduce the time. Yep. So the other one will be with your customer. We know this for a fact. Those of you who use Shopee, Lazada, AirAsia, and things like that, you know how cost effective it is. Ultimately, it brings the cost down. It brings the price down. It makes you competitive. Now, guys, if you are a business owner, you probably have not used digital thing because why? You have got assistant to do it for you. You got secretaries to do it for you. You got other people to do it for you. You don't know the feature and the joy and the user experience of using digitalization, whether it's with your customer or with your stakeholders or with your suppliers and creditors. So guys, these are the area, especially on the creditors, suppliers and customer side, where you can have digital platforms and portals and apps that you can communicate with them, pay them or get paid or sell things, right? Now, this pandemic has a silver lining. I see now so many people trying to sell things in Facebook, which in the past, before the pandemic, they cannot imagine that's possible. Yeah, I even now order my roast duck through Facebook. How do you like that? And the cost goes down. Yeah. So please, if you're using a mobile phone, screenshot this one and think about it. These are the 5 areas that you can digitalize and reduce your cost very quickly. Right. Now let's look very simple one. These are something that I already seen, they did in Bosch 20 years ago. I live in it. Yeah. Now, for example, hierarchy and bureaucracy. From one level to another level, there's so much paper, so much printing, so much waiting for bosses to sign. Just a boss goes somewhere else, tak payah sign lah. So in my training, when I train people, when we have lean manufacturing workshop and games, the people begin to realize that something that takes 5 to 6 days, 8 days for signing can now be done within 1 day or half a day, right? Digitally. Yeah. So these are the things that you want to look at: hierarchy and bureaucracy in your organization. It doesn't cost you money. No need capital investment. That will bring it down. Then next will be telephone. A lot of people are still using telephone, mobile phones to communicate. Yes, talking is good. But in Bosch, for such a long time, we have been using Skype. We have been using Skype for, I think, now 14 years. So right now, we are so used to it that we don't even have a landline. We don't have a telephone on the table because everything is through online, and we have been using it. We were using WebEx and then Skype and now Teams. So naturally, yeah, whether it's with salespeople, with customer, with suppliers. Yeah, so you come to Bosch, all our table has no table phone. It is just using the computer with a headset. Next will be physical meetings. A lot of people still like physical meeting, and this pandemic is proving to you that many of these things are not necessary anymore online. And right now, through this pandemic, if you are the business owner, you're the head of department, it's the best time now to implement this permanent way of doing business, this new way of doing business. As much as possible, have things online. Yes, some things needs to be face-to-face. I agree with that, yeah? The other one will be travel and transport. Yeah. Now I enjoy online so much that the day when I had to take a flight, or drive to Ipoh, I said, oh my goodness, so much driving and so much going to airport, going to wake up early and got to dress up and everything. Guys, these are the things under your control. So take this chance now in pandemic to implement this, because it doesn't cost you, it costs you very little money. In fact, it saves you money. Now, if you don't, then your cost is permanently going up and up and up. It's not staying still, it's going up. Yeah. So what can you do? For example, now if you're using internet, sending documents for signing and things like that, talking to your customer. Yeah. Of course, very important things you really need to have face-to-face lah. But otherwise, almost everything can be online. Yeah. And your technical people, your sales people, and everyone needs to have the hardware and to be trained to do it. I still get a lot of people telling me I'm not used to it. Well, even the children are getting used to it, being trained at home in school. Yeah. If the children can, tell me why adults can't. So it's a matter of attitude. It's a matter of imposing on it. It's a matter of doing it. Personally, I can tell you, honestly, I can tell you, I still remember when Bosch took away the table phone, even I complained because I was not used to it. But with 2-3 months, I said, yeah, I like it. I just put the headset, stick it in, and I'm already talking quietly. Yeah, guys. So remember, reduce your operational costs. And this has nothing to do with the factory level. This is on your enterprise level. Yeah, all these solutions are already available. Now let's look at the manufacturing. Yeah, almost, on the left are your equipment. We call it shop floor. On the top is your management, your enterprise. Yeah, we do resource planning, production planning, maintenance, energy, visualization, accounting, human resource, and all that. Presently, everything that connects your shop floor to your enterprise is everything very manual, very delayed, very inaccurate. How are they? For example, ask yourself this question. Is everything from your shop floor still pen and paper and somebody keying things? Ask yourself that. If it is, then you're terribly, terribly, terribly inefficient. If you ask me right now, from after so many experience within Bosch and also looking at all the other things, the moment you're able to change things from manual to digital, yeah, whether it's scanning, whether it's barcode, whether it's QR code, whether it's RFID or sensors and things like that, I would give you a rough number. It is easy to minimum squeeze out 15 to 20% cost reduction. I know this because I'm a panel judge in a government agency looking at some of this implementation. I see that they reduce their cost by 30-40%. I'm only giving you a conservative of 10-15%. Next would be sudden breakdown of equipment. I told you before just now, everybody was so busy trying to cook something out without looking at whether equipments are breaking down. If I ask you a question right now, do you know which is the weakest equipment in your operation? That equipment you must really pay attention with. And I give you a clue. Many times this weakest equipment is also the most inconspicuous, is the most simple equipment many times that everybody don't pay attention to. It could be a water pump, it could be a distribution pump, it can be anything. But if it breaks down, production stops. So guys, this sudden breakdown means you will have to find sensors and ways to monitor it. Yeah, I'll give you the solution afterward. Then raw data. Now, I know I've been to some factories where they're actually, quite good. Yeah, they're no longer manual, but now a lot of data are coming out. Then it has a new problem. Too much data, unprocessed. The management cannot process so many raw data. It has to be processed in a way that the HR can understand it, the accounts can understand it, the boss can understand it, so that he can make the right decision. Next will be, nobody send their staff for upskilling. They're so afraid. Bosses are so afraid. If I send people for upskilling, other people will pinch them. And the funny thing is, many employees also don't want to go for upskilling. Why? I've got so much work to do. If I go for training, my work will be piling up on the table. The other fear that workers has is, if I go for training, when I come back, my boss expect me to do more things. Right, guys? I'm speaking to business owner right now. I presume you're all senior or head of department. If you don't upskill your people, then sorry, you will never grow your productivity. Not only that, your costs are going up because salaries are going up, yet productivity is falling. Yeah, in Bosch, they always emphasize people and process, people and process. Then only you will get a good product and good quality that comes up. Right. Next will be, now we employ a lot of foreign worker. Yeah. So this is the time now in this pandemic to really to rethink, to improve your processes and your people so that your foreign worker can be reduced. Yeah. Next, nobody looks at energy, air conditioning. Take my word, if you don't have much equipment in your plant, yeah, then I will say that your air conditioning is 70 to 80% of your operating cost. Please look at it. Yeah. So, and other equipments as well. So now there are software and hardware to look at energy management system to really know which machine, which process is the one that causes the most energy consumption. Finally, cost goes down. Pandemic or no pandemic, your cost will go up. So this pandemic seriously is your best chance now to really sit down and study. When people have more time now to really look at not how to cut costs, but how to manage your costs, how for the same cost that you have is how to have more productivity. Ideally, increase productivity, reduce cost. And I know one thing though, after 28 years in Bosch, where the more you improve your processes, your people, your costs will go down. And we need to go down. Remember, I told you, every year we have to give price reduction to customer automatically. That is how bad it is. No, not how bad it is. But because they are able to do that, their business grow. Their brand name grow. I said they because although I'm an employee of Bosch, because I told you just now, I want to be objective to tell you their secret. And their secret is people and process. Being willing to upskill people, train people, and improve their process all the time. Yeah. Ultimately, if you don't do this, then you are not competitive. And you don't stay at one position, you will become more and more competitive. And again, I repeat, pandemic or no pandemic. Yeah. Next, how do you solve this problem? Okay, you probably have gone to some sessions and things like that. You have heard about sensors, connectivity, cloud computing, artificial intelligence. automation. And I purposely put the word automation right at the bottom because so many people are so fixated about drone lah, robots lah, AGV lah, dan semua itu. Yeah, guys, in Bosch, I mean, you think they have 284 factories. They have got lots and lots and lots of old equipment, legacy equipment, and old people, including me. Yeah. So what do they do with old things? Dump them and buy new? Yeah, that doesn't need brains. Yeah, but that only needs money and lots of money. What they do is to retrofit those equipment to become Industrial 4.0 ready. Train people to know how to retrofit. That is a thing. Yeah. So ultimately, I will tell you that they have become consistently, continuously competitive. And profitable is the word, even after giving the price reduction. Amazing, yeah? So 4 things I'd like you to just only focus your journey as an SME for the next 3 to 4 years. Forget about AI, okay? Forget about AI, yeah, right. It'll be connectivity, sensors, software, and data analytics. All of this Bosch provides. Please see me if you want them. If you want robots, we also sell robots. You want automation, we sell it too. But I'm telling you, you don't need it for SME. Number 1, look at connectivity and basic things like sensors, right? There are 4 areas that you really want to look at. Equipments you have. This part is called data acquisition. First, acquire data digitally. Number 2, make the data, visualize it so everyone can see, whether it's on their mobile phone or tab or wherever. Next, then only the bosses can make the right decision, so that only your company can price the thing correctly and competitively. Yeah. So the keyword, the adjective means is real time, accurate, tepat dan semasa. Yeah. And then, you know, clear. Everyone can get access to the information to make the right decision. So for you, yep. So I give you some examples, some sensors here. You see, now you put on your equipment, your processors on your mobile phone alone, whether it's a mobile phone, tab, or TV, you can see data, real time data. This is called data acquisition and visualization. Next will be, okay, I give you one example, equipment in Bosch. We got so many. This is a typical hydraulic equipment, you know. So what is one major problem like all hydraulics and machinery? It is this servicing. And servicing costs money. Servicing means you have to have downtime. So what Bosch did was to put sensors, to put gateway, to put data up in the cloud, and then to have software to process it so that you can visualize. And in this particular case, I was looking at the hydraulics, yeah, because it's a hydraulic machine, it's doing it. Now, it also gives signal to the maintenance. And signal means like 2-3 weeks before the thing breaks down by saying, please come and look at me, I need servicing. That means there's no disruption. And most important thing, that it must be cost saving. So this thing has saved the company 25% maintenance cost, reduce 20% complexity of servicing it, and OEE increasing 5% and ROI of less than 1.5%. If any business owner comes to tell me that 1.5 years is too long, right, we're already 1.5 years in MCO. Yeah, guys? Okay, good. Next will be, what are the industrial needs now? You have a look at these 10 boxes. Ask yourself this question. Which of these boxes really matters to you? I've asked this question to lots of people and they gave me the wrong answer. And I will tell you which is the wrong answer they gave me. Now have a look at this one. Ask yourself which one. Yeah, is it manual data input? That's your problem. Lack of processed data, no energy monitoring, sudden machine breakdown, you know, quality inspection, use a lot of human labor to look at the thing. Next will be poor inventory management, no active visualization. Everything is on paper, beautiful graphs on the wall, you know, and then some company even have ERP, but not connected to the ground. It's only for sales and also accounting. Wasted, you buy an expensive ERP, but you have not connected real time to the ground. Next will be no upskilling and no training. And finally, too many foreign workers and labor. Have a guess. I've asked this question to more than 2,000 people, business owner, and I said, which one do you think is most important? And guess which one everyone picked? Most people picked intensive labor, foreign labor. So they always blame that it's the foreign labor that's the cause, failing to realize that they have not paid attention to the others. I would encourage you, one of the others is the training. Because once the people are trained, they begin to be able to identify which one is important and which one is not. Okay, ultimately, this is what it should be: reduce manual input by using sensors, whether it's QR code, barcode, RFID, and store your data on the cloud. Right. Next will be useful process data. Only measure what you need to measure. Things like condition monitoring. For example, if the equipment you want to look at the temperature is the major problem, or the vibration of the CNC machine is a serious problem, then only just measure it. Make sure that you get the data on time. Next will be on visualization. So forget about beautiful graphs on the wall. Nobody looks at it. Okay. So now your data needs to be on as simple as mobile phone, on the tab, or on the computer screen. Next will be digitize your inventory management. Yeah, so please come see me. Yeah, with Bosch, we have got fantastic softwares for this, and also predictive maintenance. Important, timely notification. Jangan tunggu sampai the equipment breakdown. Too late. Yeah. Next will be digital inspection. I'm going to give you some example on this digital inspection, and then of course to connect. Now the other things, when you have done the other things, automatically you get connected to your ERP. Yeah. Then also energy monitoring and upskilling. And finally, you will find that your labor, your people will become more productive, and you do not need so many people to work, whether it is foreign or local. This is ultimately the Industrial 4.0 in its most practical form. Please screenshot this if you like before I go next. Yeah. So then look, everything has a number, has a benefit. There's no such thing as theoretical number. Yeah, these are two factories in Bosch which are very efficient already. Mind you, these two factories are open to public to visit. If you go to Germany, every few years they will go through a cycle to see where else can they squeeze improvement. Look at this. These improvements are not single digit, they go in double digit. And both of these specifically I'm showing you is on logistics and material handling and warehousing. Again, I said to you, this is where much of your cost is stuck, yeah, in poor management, poor logistics. I wouldn't say that in these two plants the logistics was bad, but rather things have changed. So every 3 years to 5 years, there must be a real study of the flow and things like that, of how things are placed in order to really squeeze up benefits. Yeah. Right. Now, let's look at this one, digital inspection. I have been to so many factories where they're using so many people to check for quality inspection. They think the more people employed to do quality inspection, the better. Oh, sorry, the more people, the more mistakes it become. And I'm going to show you that, right? So now let's look at a factory that is in Malacca that produces metal stamping part, very complex part. They metal stamp, they weld, they make holes and but jenis lah. So in the past, they have to use a human to do the measurement, and the human cannot measure a lot. They can only do one day, probably just 7 to 10%, because it's so intensive, so much things to do, yeah? And many times even it is rejected. So let's look at this one, this video. Oh, sorry, not this one. Okay. You see, within seconds, they already identify where are all the problems, right? And the data is immediately streamed up, and data analytics are doing it. Now he's moving to another direction to check for hole, burr, cut that got welded. Yeah? So within seconds, the result comes up. Yeah? So it tells us exactly the problem and data are solved. Now he can do 100%. In the past, he couldn't do 100%. Yeah. And why does he have to move the part? Because they have got only one camera there. If they were to do 2 cameras, then all three parts of it can be measured immediately. I will give you some real data about this as well. Yeah. So let's go on to right. So he's doing all 4 sides, yeah. Okay, so let's go to another one. This one has no audio. It's basically a part. And there's so many rubber bushes of different size, different diameter, different thickness. So because of this, now immediately it picks it up. no error. So whether this is on the moving production line or you put and place and things like that, this word for you guys is called automated visual inspection. Yeah, the MNCs are now using this. Now these are very much within the range of SME to use it. See me if you need solutions like this, okay? So let's go back to the main one, which I'm finishing. Now, next one, which is, I would say, almost fundamental and very important. It is training and upskilling. Yeah, to build up your employees to be productive and innovative. Yeah, guys, I know that many SMEs, take my word, many SMEs, your people will stay with you for a long time because they feel they can't go anywhere, right? And sometimes, many times, SMEs being small, many of them are very family also. People feel comfortable because the organization is so big. You go to some big NMCs, yeah, you're just a number there. Now, however, if you don't train your people, then, their ideas, their productivity is not only stagnant, but actually going down. Why? When they are not trained, they don't know how to do their job, especially when new equipment, new customer demand and things like that. One thing goes down, and it's called motivation. Yeah, and this is something that I see in Bosch. They always maintain the motivation of the employees. Like myself, after 28 years there, I'm still very excited about new things that are coming. Yeah, so equipments like this are already available in Malaysia. There are 4 centers now, and they all comes under HRDF. Please send your people for training, whether it's 5 days, 10 days, or 15 days. People that comes back from that are SKM L3, which means they are able to dismantle, assemble, and understand the entire process of Industrial 4.0. Whether it's robots now, whether it's sensors now, PLCs or servo drives, yeah, and visualization, AR and VR. Yep, so this is under the HRDF. They will also be trained in things like sensors, pairing to mobile phones and things like that. Guys, do not learn how to make sensors. Teach your people on how to use sensors that are in the market for your application. Yeah, so these are the 4 centers already ready for you to go for training in Selangor, in Sabah, in Kedah, and soon in Pahang, and 2 more next year, yeah, which will be announced. Right. So I thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you all salam sejahtera, be safe, be successful, and keep on going. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. Everybody, can you join me and say thank you to Royce? Oh my gosh, that was amazing from the start to the end. It just packed. I'm taking tons of notes. And gang, if I can, Royce, if we can invite you to just stay to the end. I think we're also going to have a question and answer. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please prepare your questions and ask them to Royce and also our next 2 panelist speakers who will be sharing, all right? So thank you very much for that power-packed. I think I really have to say, Royce, you deliver such simple explanation. It's almost demystifying digitalization and IR 4.0, because for many SMEs, it seems like such a big task. But I love what you say. Just do it. Before investing in robotics, which clearly you've got the works for it, I think it's really the productivity. It's really seeing where the overtime is happening, where the downtime is happening. And I think even that for SMEs, we need to get to that part first. So I love your presentation. Wow, everybody is saying thank you, Royce. Wow, so much insight, non-stop note-taking, the hand pain. Wow, very good, very good. Okay, so without further ado, Mr. Royce, invite you to stay, but let me bring up the next amazing speaker. We now have, let me just show up my slides. We now have Dr. Mazlina. If I can invite Dr. Mazlina to share about Productivity 1010. Dr. Mazlina, if I can just give a very, very quick introduction, is a Deputy Director of Malaysian Productivity Corporation and holds a PhD in economics, has 25 years of productivity and competitiveness, and appointed as a national expert in Asia Productivity Organization with research projects that go across countries for food manufacturing sector and upskilling employees in pertaining to productivity. Now, for many of you, if whatever that Royce had shared just now just seemed like, oh my gosh, where do I start? This is an amazing program by MPC to get you going. So please peel in, give your support, and help me welcome Dr. Mazlina to the floor. So, hey, welcome, Dr. Maz. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Marisa, for introducing me. So, good afternoon, everyone. We have heard, a very what we call the impressive presentation, and very insightful presentation from Mr. Royce. And then many of you maybe say, how we want to start. So MPC, we are delighted to offer several program to industries to start the digitalization. So without further delay, I will start my presentation by introducing the mandate, the mandate that the government give to MPC in overlook how to improve the productivity of the nation. Okay, Rahman, please go next. Okay. So from this slide, we can see that there is 5 productivity challenges, how we want to improve our productivity, like Mr. Dato' William said just now, because during the this pandemic, our productivity have decreased by 5.5%, from positive percent to the negative. So how we want to improve our productivity? So in order to do that, we must look into 5 main productivity factors, mainly on the talents, like Mr. Roy said just now, the upskilling and also the reskilling is much more important to the companies and also to the employers, and also the technology adoption, how we would use the technology and also the digitalization in order to improve our effectiveness and our efficiency in producing products and services. And the much more important is the incentive structure as well, whereby everybody must have the consent on what is in productivity can help you. So various effort provided by the government in terms of incentive, in terms of subsidies, to help industries, especially for the SME, to sustain and grow. So we also have to look into it. Another point of view is in terms of business environment, because MPC is always focusing on improving the reducing the red tape, reducing the unnecessary burden for the regulatory. So that's why we have to look into the business environment as the push factor in order for the company to do the business easily in Malaysia. So above all, I think the most important thing is the productivity mindset. Without the mindset, the positive mindset, we cannot go further. We cannot address each of the 4 challenges yang highlighted here without the positive mindset. So that's why in this productivity report launching in this morning, one of the speaker highlighted we should highlight the mindset as at the top of the others. So okay, next please, Rahman. So MPC, when we look at on the structure, on the trust of the digital and also the technology, MPC believe we can improve our productivity through digitization. We not go to the digitalization yet, but we have to transform our manual processes to the automatic in terms of the digital way. So that's why we believe that productivity can be improved through digitization. So MPC have introduced one program, namely Productivity 1010. 1010 is reflects the binary 1010. So it's like my my screen, my slide, it shows the binary code. So this is how the data from the manual is transforming to the digital point of view. So Productivity 1010 have initiated last year actually. So we initiate this Productivity 1010 to assist the business in the manufacturing sector and also the manufacturing related services to kickstart their digitization journey. Why we enroll this such of the program? Because from the study conducted by the McKinsey to the Singapore Readiness Assessment Index. Yeah, according to them, although 75% yeah, company recognize that the Industry 4.0 solution could improve the business's performance, but only 13% has embarked on the industry forward, yeah, industry initiative, Industry 4.0 in the incentive. Why? So because many manufacturers that have completed the Smart Industry Readiness Index, similar with RA in Malaysia, they don't know how to go about what the next step they should go. So that's why we introduced the Productivity 1010 as in assisting the companies at least to help them to start the journey, to kickstart the journey for the digitization. So overall, the objective of the Industry 4.1010 is to allow company to self-check digitization readiness using our established digitization self-diagnostics tools. So this tool actually we have a benchmark, 5 main agencies provided the assessment for the digitization, namely TÜV SÜD in Germany, VDMA also in Germany, University of Warwick in the UK, EDB from Singapore, as well as the Industry Forward from Malaysia.
Dr. Mazlina, sorry ya. Can we reproject your slides because kita masih tunjuk first slide.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for everybody. Can we reproject? Guys, what slides are you seeing right now? Can I just get a confirmation, please? What slides are you seeing, gang?
Please refer for my second slide, Rahman. My second slide for the Productivity 1010. We still at that one.
Okay, now slide 4
Yes.
Slide 3. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you everybody.
Okay, thank you, Miss Marisa. Okay, and then another objective is to assist the company to digitize targeted manufacturing processes based on the proof of concept, via training and on-site engagement. That's why we introduced today our proof of concept program that we'll be sharing by Miss Wanwei later on. So our target, of course, for the assessment, we target the business owner, the leader itself can have to assess their companies in terms of their readiness. So because we need the commitment from the leaders in order to do so. And then for the intervention program, we encourage engineers, technicians, and also your technical person to embark in our program. So we targeted about 5,000 companies for the intervention, especially focused on these SMEs. So we expected from the program that we have offered, we expected the company would get the assessment result on their readiness, on their digitalization readiness level, their productivity improvement project, and as well as to showcase their success story throughout our sharing platform that we will determine later. So next, please. So basically, this is the process flow of our Productivity 1010 initiative. We start with webinar like this one. We promote all over the countries. We collaborate with the stakeholders. We collaborate with the technical centers in order to start this program. And then we encourage company to self-diagnose themselves using our tools. This is actually the first gate for you to register for the program. So you have to register using this tool, and then you get assess your readiness, and then if you can get the result, you can now eligible to join our intervention and also coordination program. Basically, normally what we do for the intervention, we will provide the training and hand-holding as well to the companies. And then Rahman. Okay, and then we provide we given the 3 months, yeah, for the proof of concept, and then afterwards we encourage the company who has successful conducted the proof of concept to showcase their project through our convention. So this is basically the process of the our program. So next, please. Okay, this is what actually in our assessment, yeah. So in our assessment, we have 15 questions to be answered. So in the question, we divided into three main core areas, namely process, technology, and also the organization. This is also similar with the RA and also similar with the other assessment tools that provided in the others criteria as well. From that one, we give the weightage, yeah, 30% for the processes, 50% for the technology, and also 30% for the organization. So basically, this is our question breakdown. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, this question has been established by joint collaboration with MATA, Malaysia Automation and Technologies Association, as well as the MISI 4.0 Association. Okay, next, please. So upon answering the question, you will get the result. So this is the scoring and the readiness profile for the companies. The scoring is quite similar with our RA as well. So I think everyone, regardless industries, regardless whether you are SME or large, you can always leverage this tool to assess yourself, to assess your company. Where is your digitalization level? So selain daripada itu, for the intervention program, we allow company below 60% to involve, because when you are leader, you are advanced enough to start with our program, because our program, we want to start small, just to let the companies to start at least, yeah, to start some sort of a project to digitize some of your processes. So that's why we always we will select companies that have the 60 and below marks, score level, to participate in our program. So next, please. So when you have submitted the question, they will reveal the assessment result, similar like this one. So they have provided the spider web in terms of your 8 areas of your core area. So they also will have the scoring. For example, in this slide, if you are 28%, you are the beginner, and then we said that you only have interest to pursue the digitization, but with none or very minimal effort or initiative in the digitization. So in the below of the chart, there will be a question if you want to proceed, if you want to proceed with our intervention program, especially for the MyReskills IoT. So if you want to participate in our program, you just click yes. So the secretariat will contact you after receiving all of your details and all your assessment results. So how to apply? This is you can scan this QR code. So automatically you can able to answer 15 questions in the assessment. So next, Rahman. This is an example of our intervention program. Actually, our main program is the MyReskills IoT, of course, because our target group is much more bigger. So we target 5,000 manufacturing and services company. Although in my earlier slide, I mentioned I focus more on the manufacturing and also the manufacturing related services. But for MyReskills IoT, we also open to other services industry as well. So other than that, we also have the AI for S, artificial intelligence for SMEs. This one is very targeted program. We jointly collaborate with the MIDA to introduce the AI, same concept of the MyReskills IoT. We do have also the proof of concept. We targeted 100 companies. We do also have provide this field service management. This one we targeted 20 manufacturing and manufacturing related services, more focus more after sales, of how to digitize your processes. Other than that, we also for this focus on the smart machinery for the food machine makers. This is what our current target, current intervention program. So also including the 3 months proof of concept program. And then one more thing on the smart pottery solution program. This one is more tailored to one companies. We want to have a case, yeah. We develop the proof of concept for the one companies in order before we proliferate to the others companies as well. This one, and then last but not least, we also have one program, namely Malaysia Virtual Experience, my VXP, for the 50 hosts in the tourism industries. So this is all about what the productivity improvement program related to the digitization that MPC are offer currently. So I think that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Back to Miss Marisa.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mazlina, for the amazing session. I think there was so much information that the screen started to lag, but thank you very much, guys. If you wanted to be able to get hold of a QR code you didn't get to, please click on the link that I've shared over there. But without further ado, I want to bring on board Miss Lee Wan Wei. All right, so let me bring this up. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so if you guys can see my slides over here, the next part, earlier we talked about productivity, and productivity is about really where to start. And I'm really excited to bring on board Miss Lee Wan Wei, who is a manager for Malaysia Productivity Corporation, because Miss Lee here is all about the program called MyReskills IoT program. So very, very quickly, Miss Lee here has 10 years of working experience with MPC, and she's currently the program manager for Electrical and Electronics Productivity Nexus. Now, for many of us, IoT, Internet of Things, is a very technical term. But I really love that you can just pay true attention to this session by Miss Lee, that she's going to share with you, not only help you understand how IoT plays a role in digitalizing your business, but also how you enroll in some of the kick-ass programs that Malaysia Productivity Corporation has. So without further ado, let me welcome Miss Lee.
Thank you, Marisa. Can you hear me? All right, so I will be providing a briefing on the overview of MyReskills IoT program. Next slide. So in my slide, I will be sharing on the MyReskills IoT program, as well as the past IoT programs and how to apply to this program. Next slide. Next slide. Nadia, can you put up the slide?
Sekejap, saya dah share sekejap ni.
Okay, so the objective of this program is actually to assist companies in the adoption of Industry 4.0 among the local industries, as well as we would like to train the industry IoT knowledge and skill set for the non-coding workforce so that they can remain relevant in the job market, and to support, coach, and prepare, enable 5,000 participants to carry out the IoT project within their companies. And the scope of the program is actually we are conducting a 5 half-days virtual workshop where participants will learn about the Raspberry Pi and Arduino hardware. So the data gathered from the connected sensors will be displayed using the node rate to enable visualization and remote monitoring. Next slide. So the eligibility requirements here, we are open to all the companies that have business registration with Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, SSM, and the company falls under the SMEs categories, and as well as we are open to both manufacturing and manufacturing related services industry. Next slide. And these are the program agenda for the 5 half-days workshop, which covers the 6 sections. So for 5 half-days, and for day 1, we have section 1, Industrial IoT Gateway, and the Industrial Factory with Smart IoT Management. For the day 2, we have section 3, which is the Introduction to the Training Kit, as well as for the day 3, we will have the basic learning on the node rate dashboard. And day 4, we'll have the intermediate learning on the node rate dashboard. And for the last section, we'll have the moving forward and with the participants on their Q&A session. And next slide. So this is the training kit architecture whereby containing the Raspberry Pi 4 and the Arduino Uno. And these are the components that are inside the training kit. We will have the connectivity of the cable with the 3 sensors: humidity, light sensors, and also the temperature sensors. Next slide. And these are the flow chart on for the MPC and technology centers as well as the participating companies. So we will start with promotion and marketing activities, and participating companies will sign up through the P1010 platform, and whereby MPC and technology centers will recruit the participating companies, and companies will register for training and sign agreement. And then we will schedule the training session. Participating companies will receive the training kits, and we conduct the MyReskills IoT class. And participating companies attend class. After attending the class, they will develop the POC, which is the proof of concepts, and participate in the mentoring session. So after which the POC is developed, MPC and technology centers will audit the POC and prepare the final report. And last step will be participating companies will showcase the proof of concept, and MPC will provide the platform for showcase in terms of convention or webinars. Next slide. So this is the activities and timelines. So for the activities, we will start currently in the July. So for the SMEs to register and also qualification through online registration P1010, and then we will conduct the first batch of training in August, and then whereby the companies will be awarded on the for the joining this program, and also agreement sign off. SMEs will receive the training kit, and then we will have the training and mentoring towards the November. And then SMEs proof of concept development using this MyReskills IoT, whereby the SMEs will successfully develop the proof of concept in this MyReskills project towards the early of next year, and we will end as the showcasing of the POC. So the training will be conducted fully online, whereby we have 2 reps per company, and number of companies per class will be 20 to 25 companies. Participating companies have 3 months to complete their proof of concept projects after attended the training. Okay, next slide. And then next part will be sharing my sharing on the past IoT programs. We have launched this productivity through digitalization, EPN, and users Plugfest projects compilation booklet. And we have launched during the launching of the MSIA, Malaysia Semiconductor Industry Association, on 6 April. And then this booklet containing a compilation of more than 30 companies who successfully completed the proof of concept projects. Next slide. So basically, this is the PlugFest journey, whereby PlugFest 1.0, we have 67 companies participating, 132 engineers, and PlugFest 2.0 on AI, we have 25 companies and 45 engineers. And we started with PlugFest 1 all the way to from Northern region, Central region, Southern region, East Malaysia, and as well as currently we are at the AI4S and also MyReskills IoT proliferation in 2021. Next slide. So this is the example of the completed project completed by Alliance Corp Manufacturing Sdn Berhad, whereby their project is on the motor test rig. They are capturing some data from this motor test rig. Previously, before they implement this IoT technology, they are using the manual recording, whereby the technician need to go to capture the temperature from the motor test every hour. And after the implementation of IoT, they put in 4 sensors and also 2 on the light sensors, 1 motor temperature sensor, and 1 on humidity. So after implementation, they're able to increase the safety, enhance the safetiness, and the testing can be monitored and controlled. And they have also integration and collect data through this system. Okay, next slide. This is my last slide that I'll be sharing on how to apply. So you can apply through P1010. You can scan through here, and then once you answer the 15 questions, then there will be a checkbox to click whether you are interested to join this program, and then we will capture on your registration. So you can contact us as below, epn@mpc.gov.my, if you'd like to know more about this program.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Everybody just join me and say thank you to Miss Lee Wan-Wei for a very powerful presentation, because I think I'll just tie back to what Royce talked about. The first step of productivity is your equipment and machines has got to give you data, and from data, the visualization of data creates the opportunity for decision making. And I love what all of us echo as the same thing, because if we're trying to manage overtime, your people can't work any faster and avoid mistakes. But if you have digitalization, you have enough sensors to help your machine talk to you, to avoid that downtime, you will in turn be saving a lot of overtime costs. That's just one, but tons of other costs that if any of you are wondering, kat mana saya nak start, please sign on to the P1010 program. Please also reach out to Mr. Royce to get more. We're going to go into the Q&A soon, but also Ms. Lee Wan-Wei for future programs with Malaysia Productivity Corporation. So guys, thank you very much. Wow, there's so much gratitude in the chat box. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to go to a question by Caesar. I hope, Caesar, you're still logged on with us. Caesar's question, everybody, let me just go to that. Caesar's question was the question for Royce. The visual inspection equipment, is it able to measure dimensions, and to what dimensional accuracy, please?
Okay, I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah, some are very, very precise. Depending, the one that I showed you are what we call agnostic camera. That means you don't have to have a specific brand. So it's more the software. So to answer your question about precision, I've seen some that goes into, I wouldn't say microns, but I would say good enough, like packaging. They're used in canning, they're used in bottling, they're used in nuts and bolts. Yeah, that kind of measurement. I would say more like in instead of micron. Yeah, for micron things like that, you probably need like CMMS and things. Yeah, these are what we call production one in high speed, that they're able to pick and measure things. They also we call optical character recognition, OCR, that they're able to read the barcode, they're able to read the numbers and things like that. So in that sense, that kind of accuracy. Yeah. I hope it helps, Caesar. Hard questions you can ask both the other speakers.
Thank you so much. It's really amazing. Miss Lee Wan Wei has shared the download for the Plugfest booklet. Guys, please go ahead and download it as well. And if you have any more hard questions, please, this panelists, it was so hard to get everybody's time, but I really want to say thank you. And Caesar, I hope that was insightful for you. Guys, do you have any other questions for today's Q&A, or else I'll just ask you to stay quick 5 minutes as I wrap up today. Caesar says, thank you so much, Roy. Good. Okay. I'm just going to roll in, guys. Please keep your questions coming. But I'm just going to share some very, very quick announcements. So for those of you who really want to know where to get started, we encourage every SME scan on this QR code, take the survey and see where you're at. Yeah, that's the most important thing, because when we can see where we are at, we know how to move forward. The challenge is if we don't know where we're at, there is no moving forward, right? And the pandemic is a perfect opportunity to do this. And some of you, most of you are here, and keep the questions coming, guys. I'll get to that right in a bit. Some of you or most of you are here because your SAMENTA member friend invited you. So if you have any questions at all about how to become a member, we have very special rates for you to join us. If any of you really enjoyed, I saw somebody from Kismac and I saw a few of you say, can we have more programs like these? Please be a member of Small and Medium Enterprises Association. We waive your entrance fee and it's only 150 ringgit, where throughout the period of the pandemic, we have been really busy with informing SMEs on all the different incentives that the government has been doing as a part of stress relief. All right, so if any of you feel you need to be a part of that, you need to be in the inner loop of SMEs and to get to know all the different support. For example, MPC here, and we bring fantastic speakers like Mr. Royce. You want to be a part of that? You got to be a member, and we will keep you informed of all these future activities. All right, so any other questions, everybody? Christina,
I saw a question there,
yes?
Something on data analytics.
Okay, hang on. Let me read that out. That's Stanley Gorna. Very good. Royce, you spoke about data acquisition, analytics. How can SMEs, especially really small micro businesses, benefit from big data technology? There is concern that data analytics may be too complicated or too expensive for small businesses. What are your thoughts? Wow, good one.
Okay, you can imagine that we also have to help our suppliers. We have got many suppliers who are tier 3, tier 4, very small ones. We need to know data as well. From my experience, many of the smaller SMEs don't really need complicated data analytics. Yeah, what, for example, they need to know upper limits, lower limits. They need to know something has happened, and that's it. They don't need in microns measurement. They may need to know median. They may need to know standard deviation. They need to know averages and things like that. So that kind of data analytics, I would call even those are capturing data. Those are still not going to data analytics. Yeah, so many of our sensors and equipment actually comes with embedded software that has got some kind of analytics. Yeah, so because it's made for the industry, mainly SMEs. Right. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Stanley. Yeah, so messages, their needs are not so complicated. So I have already identified what are their needs, as I mentioned to you. In a worst case, where they really have so much data, one of the best way to know whether they have lots of data is, number one, are they already acquiring data? If they're acquiring data, do they need a lot of server, or are they really so much server they need to use the cloud? Then you know that they generate a lot of data. Yeah, only to such stage that we talk about data analytics. But if their data are very little, you can't even do good analytics on very little data, or even bad quality data. Bad quality data is no point to do analytics. Yeah, so therefore, to answer that, many of our equipments already come with embedded software and some form of data analytics.
Right. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's a very, very good question from Stanley. I hope that helped you. Very, very good response, because sometimes we can have too much data and then there's a paralysis by analysis. So it's about getting the right kind of data, and that's really good advice. Thank you. Wonderful session, says Stanley. Very good. Mr. Cho Chi Wo, all right. How can we push on fintech in Malaysia using digitalization by introducing digital ringgit? Hey, that one another webinar. That's another webinar. That's another topic. But noted. You want to give it a go?
No, I think the two capable speakers can try.
Wow. Okay.
No, you're right. It's another webinar.
It's another webinar, but Mr. Cho, we've noted that, and we'll bring other speakers. Okay. Any other questions, gang, before we let you go? We know it's getting late, but many of you are still staying on, and we're very happy that you're doing that. Any other questions, gang? Wow, active bunch. If there are no further questions, oh, sorry, Miss Lee, do you want to say something?
No.
Okay. So everybody, can you please join me and give a very big appreciation for our speakers, Mr. Royce, Dr. Maslina, Miss Lee One Way. Oh my gosh. Thank you for such a power-packed. Please keep in touch with us. Please click on the link, find out where you're at, and we hope to see you in further programs. Thank you, Mr. Chin. Great session. Awesome speakers. Thank you, Miss Marina Louis. Very, very good. Thank you, all of you, and we hope to see you. Very inspiring session. Oh, Mr. S.J. Kong, great inspiring speaker, great program. We use Bosch introduction, motor build. Yeah, you got a fan here. Yeah, woo. Caesar says thank you. Azlina says thank you. Jin from CM Eco, how's it going, girl? Azura, awesome speakers. Kismek, the list goes on now. Ayo. Thank you very much, everybody. And let's stay in touch. Maybe some final words from Royce, Dr. Maslina, and Miss Lee. Final words, then we can call it a day.
I think that both of you first.
Hi. Please.
Ladies first.
Okay, thank you for attending this webinar. Hopefully, we can see you again in our program, especially to participate in our Productivity 101 Visa Forum. We start small, like the baby, crawling, and then can be run. Yeah. So good luck, all our best, all the best to all of our participants today. Stay safe, stay positive. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Dr. Maslina. And over to Miss Lee, and then last but not least, Mr. Royce.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa, and thank you for Samantha to invite us to be the speakers of the day, and great to see all of you here. So, please stay close with us on our upcoming webinars, as well as you can contact us on at the email address just now that I've shared, and please stay tuned to all the upcoming programs that are very exciting and towards the digitalization journey. So all the best to all of you, and have a productive day ahead.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you, Miss Lee. And last but not least, some parting advice, Royce.
Guys, I'd like to encourage you. I personally have experienced 5 economic crises from the 70s, every 10 years as one. And I can almost promise you every 8 to 12 years, there will be one more. Yeah. So be strong, be resilient. Transform yourself to be like a strong bamboo that can bend and then come back and rejuvenate. Yeah. Good luck and keep yourself safe. And to all my panel speakers as well. And Marissa. Bye.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. That ends today's session. Thank you very much, guys. All the best. Please stay safe and stay well. And we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye for now. Bye, everybody. Thank you.